Hello and welcome back to the Overcome Yourself podcast. As you know, my name is Nicole and I'm so excited to be here today with Pamela. And I love that you've got in the background envision me, think big. I love it. So please introduce yourself, Pamela, and let us know what you do. I'm so excited to have you
Yeah.
here with us.
First of all, first and foremost, thank you for having me on here. Super excited. But my name is Pam Stone. I am a woman empowerment coach. I help women to go after their what's next. And how do we do that? We're all so confused or not even knowing how to do it. So I actually have created a vision board kit where we will
Love
talk
it.
about it from beginning to the end, and we'll figure out the middle and in between. So not only do I have a vision board kit, I also now have two podcasts. I also have a TV station and a Vision Made magazine. So I believe in trying to touch all women around all ways to help them get empowered.
I love that so much. Tell me
Yeah.
about this vision board kit because the vision board has been such a big part of what I've done, of what's helped me reframe my mindset. And it's really cool to find a vision board that you made and be like, "Oh my God, I did all of this."
Right.
So tell me about
So
that a little bit more.
absolutely. So with the vision board kit, actually, I have everything in the kit. May it be the scissors, the glue, the pens, the magazine. I even have the magazines in there, boards,
Love it.
colored everything. But also, I take it further because I believe in empowering ourselves is by expanding our minds. So each kit comes with a book. And the book actually is talks about how to create different vision boards and what it takes to even have a vision board. But I'm so glad to see a fellow vision board user. I'm starting to hear a lot more. For a while there, people didn't know what it was, or people were like, it's not doesn't work, or better yet, you see them doing it and then it sits in the corner collecting dust. So I'm glad to see people are starting to use it more and hearing even talking about it more.
Yes, absolutely. I learned about it. Um, Probably The Secret is the first time, a lot of people got exposed to manifesting for the first time with The Secret,
Yeah.
the movie.
Yes.
Um, and ever since then, I've made a lot of vision boards, and yeah, it helps you to expand your vision. I absolutely love it. So that's so cool. So
Yeah.
tell me about your podcast as well. And then I'm gonna ask you obviously about the TV station. We're gonna get
Of
into that,
course.
but tell
Of
me a little
course.
bit more about the podcast.
So the podcast, I have two of them. So the first one is the Vision Board Show, and actually, it is all centered around the vision board, of course. And I go on there. It's every Tuesday, and I sit down. We take the vision board out the bag, and we talk about the parts of a vision board and how it plays a part into building a vision board and the importance of it. And just sit down and having fun. I believe in having so much fun. I'm always telling everyone, bring your favorite evening beverage and your snack, um, and let's put the board together, and it even ask me questions. And then the next show I have is Envision Me show podcast. And it's there I bring on powerhouse women, and we come on, we do interviews, but we're doing some girl talk. Sit down and let's really find out what is holding you back from your what's next. And let's peel the layers back and let's go after it after we've done that. So I have those two shows going on. And then yes, I do have a TV show. The TV show is actually can be seen on Roku, Apple, and Amazon. There, I have created like a TED Talk where women can come on and share their story. I mean, everybody hears my story, right? You hear me talking on the two podcasts. I want everyone to get a mixture too, and it's not all about me. So I have created where women can come on and they can tell their story and share it with the women around people around the world.
I love that. That is so
Yeah.
empowering. That is so amazing. Um, so many questions I want to ask you. I want to know about your journey. Because my book, this podcast is named after my book, which is called Overcome Yourself. Because
Yeah.
it's what I had to do. And it's, I figured out that it was all, it starts with mindset, right? And overcoming me and overcoming the space right here in your head, and overcoming those voices, that negative voice that's just trying to keep you safe. So in that journey to doing all of these amazing things and empowering women, do you feel like you had to overcome yourself?
I had to overcome myself, but also society norms.
Yes.
Let's be honest, society sets the bar, and then it's up to us. Are we going to go with what society says, or are we going to go against it? And then when you
Hmm.
go against it, then you guess what's coming along with it. And you got the fear, the fault, the failure, and everybody else that comes with it. So I did have to overcome a lot of that. It was, ironically enough, the story started out with, had my girlfriend. She is my girlfriend, and she was my boss. And one day she came to me. She says, "Okay, this is it. I'm giving you 2 weeks notice, and you won't have a job." And I'm like, "Okay." Okay, let me digest this for a moment. She goes, "You can digest it all you want, but in 2 weeks, this is it." And so after I got myself together, I had another mentor in the same place, and I'm like, "You never guess what she told me." She's like, "Oh, I know. It's been time for you to leave." And I'm like, "Really? You can see it in the." And so everyone else seeing the possibilities of what I can do. Again, we're so blind by what society has. And also too, I was a people pleaser. So I was doing everything everybody told me what to do. Everybody was like, and when I did it, I was getting praised. But when went against the grain, I was like, well, I was told you already had your chance. And so all of that manifested on top, and it just kept going and
Hmm.
going, and it built on top of it. And it got to the point of where I relied on food. Honestly, I relied on food because, let's be honest, food can't talk back. Until my girlfriend, the first girlfriend that told me, that lost my job, she's like, "I'm gonna show you the life that you really should be getting." And she took me underneath her wing, and she showed me what true entrepreneurship and how it worked for me. But she also talked to me about, you're going to be out here by yourself. So you're going to have to learn how to do it. So I feel that's where my whole journey began, on how I overcame it. But it was a true shocker, when you're thinking you're making this money, and you're making good money, and you're so comfortable. And then we're like, nope, that's not how it's going to work out. So absolutely.
Yes. And you know what? Like seeds of adversity bring with them equal seeds of opportunity, right? And
Oh
so
my goodness.
sometimes, yeah, that's Think and Grow Rich, right? That's a classic as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it takes, right? And then I think it's awesome that you have a friend that loves you enough to be honest with you, and like is able to have, because that's a hard conversation, be like, you're my friend, but you can't work
Mhm.
here anymore because you have too much potential for this. And so that I just want to commend your friend on that, on being able
Yeah.
to just be honest with you and say you're better than this, like you've got so much more that you can do. Because a lot of people don't have that. And so it's wondering, and what you mentioned about being comfortable, um it's so true, because it could be so hard to
Yes.
leave something, because when you have a job and it's paying you a lot of money, and even though you're kind of miserable, but like, at least I'm getting paid,
Yeah.
and that's really, really scary. And so I think it's amazing, but look at you now with your podcast and your show. And so I love it. I love how this kind of like an unexpected, like something that went not how
Yeah.
you expected, but then there was like just this wonderful fruit that came from it. And so I think that's amazing. So you mentioned something that I want to come back to, and you mentioned, we were talking about the vision boards.
Yeah.
um and the importance. Can you touch on the importance of creating that vision board? Because I'm sure that was part of your process. Once all that stuff happened, you have to be like, well, what do I want now? What do I want? Because we get to a point where we finally, there's nobody else, and we have to be like, what do I want? And so I feel like the vision board kind of must have been a big part of that. So touch on the importance of creating a vision board, and why would we even want, why should we order this program from you and to do it with you, right?
So let me first start off saying, when the walls of my world came crumbling down, I
Hmm.
had a vision board, but I didn't understand how it worked. I
Ooh.
really didn't. I truly didn't. And actually, my girlfriend, she is truly a blessing, because she's like, "Pam, they do work." I'm like, girl, really? No, they don't. And I mean, but it was all that, remember, I was getting everything from all angles, but it taught me the importance of it is knowing that it's mine. First of all, I had to create ownership. That vision board is
Mhm,
so important for ownership because I was relying on somebody else, and she sat me down and she did even say, guess what? I'm going to let you sit here. I'm going to explain how it works, and the rest you have to figure out. But she did that because she knows how I am, and I had to own it, and I had
mhm,
not to rely on anybody. So then, first and foremost, the vision board taught me ownership, and it's okay what's on the board because I'm not going to fail. It's mine. And regardless of how big it is, knowing that it's reachable. I didn't put anything on there. I didn't want to set myself up. I didn't put anything on there that can't be obtained. So it went again, the vision board one reminded me of who I am. It also actually created the accountability because once I created it and I looked at it, I'm like, wow, this is me. And now how am I going to get to what I said? I put on there everything that I put on my board is everything to be intentional. And it's also to be serving as a purpose and a passion for me. And so when everything that I put on that board, I look at it, I look at my board to this day. I literally have five
mhm.
boards. Three are around me and two are on my phone. This is how much I believe in it. But and I look
That's
at them
great.
and they all serve a different purpose, and they all come with different meanings, and they all come in with they're all the funnel coming into this is where I want to be ultimately, but they each come with a different purpose. So it's so important for us to understand, what do we want? Now again, you have to remember, society is so worried. We're so worried about, and especially as mothers, we're worried about what everybody else is thinking and trying to get everybody, family going on and everything. We lose ourselves. So again, the vision board gives ownership, and also it gives you the accountability of where you're going to. And then and lastly, it also gives you to the possibilities of where you can go to, because once you see those items that are, what I do is I pull off everything that I've achieved and I pull it off my vision board and I look at my board and I'm like, wow, okay, I've accomplished all of this. Then I can go back and I create another one because it creates excitement on what I've done. And I've done it with me, of course, with amazing other women behind me, but knowing I was the driver of it.
I love that. And so important is that a vision board is like a living document. It's not something
Absolutely.
you do once and then you just forget about it. With every new season in your life, you can create a new vision board, or maybe you have a vision board, like you mentioned. Maybe you have a family life vision board and a business vision board,
Right.
for all areas of our life. So we can get so, so creative. And like you said, you can cut out stuff out of magazines, you can print stuff out, or you can even like jump in Canva, throw some things in there together, and then you have it on your
Absolutely.
phone.
Boom.
So
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, so what is the one big tip that you give to all your clients? Like, what's the secret sauce that we all got to know?
Be intentional.
Love it.
Be intentional and knowing that we can manifest what we want. And you sit down and just be intentional. Everyone's like, manifest, what is that? And that's a whole nother show that I could take on. But be intentional and manifest what you want, and manifest for what you want, not for anybody else.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. I love that so much. And keeping our eyes, the vision board, I think, helps us keep our eyes on those goals.
It
Because when we
does.
do start manifesting, sometimes we get the lessons. So the lessons are the first thing that hit us. And you're like, wait a
Okay.
second. I watched The Secret, and that little kid was thinking about a bike, and a bike showed up at the house.
Right.
I thought that when I started thinking about $100,000, someone was just
It
going to
would
show
come up
up
with
and give me $100,000. Isn't that how this is supposed to work? And what I found is that not exactly quite,
right.
not exactly like that, right? So there are lessons that we have to learn. And until we don't learn those lessons, so sometimes, these lessons come at us, and then you're like, why am I even doing this? And then you look at your vision board and you're like, oh, because because this is the goal, right? So like, an example that it's making me think of is like when somebody had braces, and then somebody said to them, oh, I didn't know you wanted braces. And the girl was like, I don't want braces. What I want is straight teeth. And so we're focusing on that goal. And the braces are uncomfortable. They make us look weird and like we're self-conscious and we don't want them and they hurt. And then the doctor, and there's so many things and they're expensive. But then you have straight teeth and you're like, I've never had braces. So it's really funny that I use that example. But then you have, your straight teeth and it was
Yes,
all worth it. Now it doesn't matter all the things and the soup you had to drink and all that stuff, because now your teeth are good and then whatever, you can go on, right? And so
correct.
I think that's kind of, we have to remember that sometimes manifesting works that way. It is coming. It's just not maybe in the way that we might have expected.
Well,
And so,
plus too, a vision, and also a vision board, you have to put in work, right? Just
mhm,
like the
yes,
braces, you had to go to the dentist every time to
yeah,
get the teeth tightened up, or they had to do a correction. So the vision board, everyone thinks it's the magic wand of all, and it's not. You have to put in the work too, to be
right, right,
honest with you. So
right.
absolutely.
Because it's not like a magic sauce. It's not like a wish board. It's not a genie. It
Right.
is, we are adjusting our perspective and adjusting our mindset and attract or changing our vibrations to attract those things to us. So it's such a big deal.
Absolutely.
I love that this is what you have specialized in, because it is such a big deal. And you're right, it's not something that a lot of people talk about. And I think it's because they don't understand.
Right.
Right? We don't understand what we don't know. And so I think it's absolutely beautiful that you're out here empowering women. And like such a foundational thing is building out these vision boards.
Thank
Um, yes. So tell me a little bit more about your story before we sign off here. I want to know more. How did you get into doing all of this?
So after the initial shock and but the bless like I said, let me go a little bit further.
Yes.
As my girlfriend had brought me down and soothed me and said it's going to be okay, then she also had taken me under her wing, and I got to, because I always
Yeah.
told her I wanted to travel, but I didn't understand what entrepreneurship truly was. So I went with her and traveled. I've been offered to go across the country with her because she speaks a lot, but she's got to show me that. And so that's how I really got into it, vision board, and understanding. Though, let me say this, understanding, because I really didn't understand what a
Mhm,
vision board
mhm,
really did. I was like you, I'm thinking, oh, it's the magic potion and
mhm.
things like that. And so I really started, I to this day, even though it is part of my business, I still look to see what studies are talking about and what people are saying about vision board and how it really works, and how people are starting to implement it into their business, and how people are talking about, well, I'll have a bride. It's now I have an idea how I want my wedding to look. So people are starting to more and more talk about it, but I want more because I know it can be done. And so many people can benefit from the vision board and how it can impact their lives in so many ways. It's just unbelievable. I've even now start actually, I do mentoring at high school, and the high school girls are doing it. And so every year I go in and we do a new vision board with 30 girls, and we do a vision board. So now they're like, so what are we getting ready to do, Miss P? I'm like, we're going to do another vision board. So everyone's getting to know what I do and things like that. So yeah, the vision board, I'm glad we're starting to do it and starting to hear it
It's
more and
amazing.
more. Yeah.
Yes, and you know what? That's such a good point, that vision boards are for any level. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what level you're at, whether you
Right.
are a high school girl that hasn't even started in business, or you're a high-powered CEO making $100 billion a month. It doesn't matter, because there's always a vision, right? Like if we're not growing, we're dying. And so we always have something else that we're striving for. So it doesn't matter what level we're at. Those vision boards really just help us to just
Get
fulfill our
focused
purpose, right? To
and
focus
get focused.
and to go through. Yes. And then it really makes you think about, what do I want? Which is something, like, to bring it back to what you said in the beginning, that as women, I was on a coaching call today, and that's the thing. The girl was like, it's been 30 years and I'm helping, and I put everyone else first, and now it's time for
Hmm.
me. You don't have to wait 30 years, or you don't have to, or
Right.
at whatever point you realize it's time for me. And the beautiful thing is, because a lot of times as women, we're like, oh, that's selfish, but it's not selfish, because the better
Right.
you do, the better the people around you do, right? Because if you have more money, you could help your kids more. You could take them more places. You can buy them better school supplies. You can, you know what I'm saying? And so it's
I
like,
do.
it's this beautiful cycle. And so thinking about us and helping us and creating these vision boards helps everyone around us. So it's actually selfish to not create the vision boards and not go after what you want in that way. So I think that's so powerful. I love it. Oh my gosh, this is so
Yay.
awesome. All right,
Can
Pam.
I add one more
Um,
thing? Can I add one more
absolutely.
thing?
At 3,
So
yes,
I
please.
want women to know though, because I've been getting a lot like, well, not now because I'm like trying to break down that barrier. It doesn't matter what age you are.
Mhm,
Please stop
mhm,
thinking that once you get
mhm.
to 45 to 50 or even 60 that you have to stop. I'm over 50 and I am loving the life this is taking me to and taking me on. So know that no matter the age that you are, you can still go after your what's next.
Yes.
It's so possible. So possible.
Absolutely. Like that's when things get really fun, right? Because now you know
Ah,
shit. Now you
right,
know what's going
right,
on, right?
right.
And
So
now you got
true.
money. Like I was reading something the other day when somebody gets to 50, like you start reverting back to like being a kid where you're kind of like the weirdo you were, but now you got money and you got a car.
Right,
And so like
right.
nobody can stop you. So like that's like the
Exactly,
best, right?
exactly. So
Oh my
true, so
goodness.
true.
Yes. So we got about 5 minutes. Do you have
Okay.
any last little things that you want to mention? How can we stay in touch with you? Oh my gosh, like other than listening to your podcast, are you on social media and stuff?
I am. So I can be found on Facebook,
Awesome.
Instagram, and a little bit of TikTok. Okay, I'm trying to figure that out, but I'm there too. But you can find me under Vision Made Media. Or you can find me under Pam Stone and all of those platforms there. Or if you want to even stay connected with me, you can
Yes.
also email me at the stone stone method at gmail.com.
Love it. Oh my God. Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Pam. This has been just absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited for what you've got going on and how you're helping women. I love that you're working with young ladies like down at the high school level. Like
Yeah.
those girls' lives are going to be so impacted with this work. They don't even know how powerful what they're learning is right now, but just implementing those things. And I mean, the world is their oyster. So thank you for the work that you do and for empowering women. And thank you so much for being here. This has been so wonderful.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a
Yes.
blast. Time went by so fast.
I know, right? It was really fast.
I
But
know.
time goes fast when you're having fun, right? So this has been a great
Absolutely.
connection.
Absolutely. It has been.
Yes. So thank you. Like I said, thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been amazing. And we'll catch you on the next episode.